Alright, lads, so another Rebirth of Souls character has been revealed. Finally, we have gotten the Shunsui character trailer, so excited to see how he's gonna play more so.
I have no choice.
Oh, so we're starting straight off with Shikai? Well, we're not doing Bankai, so I'm curious to see what his awakening's gonna be. Signature move is Mizukiri. That looks cool. And we have Yama as the antagonist for today's trailer. I didn't get to read Spiritual Pressure 1, but it looks to be a ranged attack. His second Spiritual Pressure move seems to lunge him forward. And then we have the awakening.
I'll be with you until you're dead.
Okay. So it is Shikai again. That's interesting, at least. Didn't really get to read much from that, but he looks cool. He looks cool. Oh, damn, his shadow powers are going to be crazy. Okay, that's Shunsui. Don't really have much to say about that. I didn't really get to read anything, but let's rewind it and see what this character has to offer. So first up, the stylish captain of Squad A, capable of dominating the battlefield and confusing the enemy with his unique moves and 2 Zanpakuto toe. Kind of sounded like what Shinji should have potentially been. But one thing I do like with this character here, and what they have been doing with other characters too, is, you know, if they aren't activating their Shikai during the awakening, I'm glad to at the very least see their Shikai awakening during the character intro, because this looks... that looks cool. That looks really cool. Now, on that topic, in terms of costume design, I'm not a big fan of Shunsui having the Komodo around him when he's fighting. It just looks really clunky, but from the brief gameplay we saw here, it actually looked kind of good. I like the look of it. But I would like a character option, a skin more so, without the hat and also without the kimono. And maybe without even the captain coat, because I thought Shunsui at one point looked really cool in his Storybook outfit, with no captain stuff. So there's potentially a few different skins you can do with someone like Shunsui. But first up, we have his signature move, Mizukiri. Spin the body and attack with 2 swords. The number of attacks increases by holding the input for a long time to accumulate. And in terms of the gameplay that we can see here, so we actually can see that in effect. So he let it off quick and it literally just 1 slash. 1 slash and that's it. But when you hold it down, and the indicator there being the arms going down, once that maybe fully charges up, you then get to do a spin of attacks. That looked kind of cool. I like the idea, and again, is something that you can potentially spam since it is a signature move. Into Spiritual Pressure 1, however, we have Bushogama, an attack that sends wind pressure to the opponent, and in addition to compensating for Shunsui's lack of long-range attacks, it is also possible to attack while emitting the wind pressure. So we have an example there of how it looks. So you can see it does go quite far, and it travels too. So we scroll back there, it travels, and then once it hits the opponent, and I think he's actually blocking it there, it then stays on the opponent and also attacks them a lot with the wind effect. But I'm pretty sure here, when he spins, he also maybe damages in case you are close up. Maybe they don't show us an example of being able to attack while emitting the wind pressure, but that's going to be good nonetheless to have, you know, potential variations, whether you want to be long range or close target. Into Spiritual Pressure move 2, though, we have No Need to Panic. Shunsui instantly moves in front of the opponent and then rushes with 2 swords. This allows the player to close the gap and inflict damage instantly. That sounds kind of broken, I'm not gonna lie. With that though, it makes it easy to take advantage of opportunities when the opponent shows an opening. That might be crazy, because I mean, they do emphasize here that he does lack long range, which to be fair, compared to some of the other characters in the game, he looks like he has more range than any other character, so it kind of feels like it's the exact opposite. But to make up for the long range, you have a range attack with his Spiritual Pressure move 1, and then a second Spiritual Pressure move. I mean, if they're not ready for it, then again, you do get animation. So you can kind of see it coming. Unless you're like new to the game and you get taken off guard, there is a slight indication that they are about to do this, which I think is good, but it is still pretty fast. And that looks to do it. I mean, we can't see the damage numbers, but that looks to be a pretty cool attack. And I like the after effect too that we have here when he actually lets off the attack. Like he teleports there and his body is still there. That's actually really cool. That's like the perfect attack for someone like Shunsui. And then with that, we get to see his awakening, which is him activating a Shikai again.
Care to try me?
I'm sure it's going to be something called on. So by releasing Shikai Katen Kyokotsu, a children's game begins, which players compete against each other according to the special rules. Depending on whether the player wins or loses the children's game, various buffs and debuffs will be activated. That sounds so cool, and that's perfect for someone like Shunsui. Wow. Do we get examples of it? We just get a couple of slashes there. But I don't think we get to see any of the debuffs. And in terms of some of the animations here, do we have anything to go off of that, like, I recognize? I don't think I do. Besides him going into the shadow, which I believe he does against Stark. And the slash. That's cool. One thing, did he always have yellow attacks? Because this attack here, giving off like a yellow aura vibe, is kind of reminding me of his Bankai. If you've seen that, it's always yellow. Oh, maybe he always had yellow aura. I forgot. It's been a while. But Shunsui was kind of cool. So strong in close range fights and forces players into children's games. So I'm kind of glad I'm recording this on a Tuesday, because if we go over to the website, hopefully we do get a bit more information regarding the children's game. Alright, so Shunsui is a free-to-start, easy-to-use character, so relatively easy in the middle of difficulty for the most part. Now, keep in mind, we are on the Japanese website using Google Translate, so some of the wording here might not be the greatest, but it should hopefully give us an understanding. And we do actually have some examples here of how the game does work. So I believe it's only one game, in this case, Demon's Game. No, never mind, there's three. So once you do awaken, an effect will occur randomly, Demon Game, Take Camp, or Quick Skill. Or they happen at regular intervals, so I guess you cycle between all three. While the effect is active, the competition will be conducted under special rules. So Demon Game. This is really cool. A demon is randomly selected, and when the demon hits an attack, the demon can be transferred to the other party. Not really entirely sure what that means. I don't assume a random demon spawned in. I assume it's one player is selected. Maybe it is someone that just spawns in. Again, with their 1 minute trailers, they don't really get to demonstrate how the character fully plays out. And I think like someone with Shunsui, to be fair, plenty of other characters, 1 minute trailers just do not give them justice. So the child's game will then end after a certain amount of time has passed, or if the demon is attacked multiple times. While the effect is active, all attacks will not cause spiritual damage, so that basically means damage to your Reishi, your HP bar. But once the game ends, all the damage accumulated will then be given to the last demon. That is kind of crazy. So what I'm getting at here, one person is randomly selected as the demon, and if you have the demon and you attack the opponent, you will then give them the demon effects. No one will die in this occasion, but once the time does run out, whoever is the demon, basically whoever was last hit, will take all the damage in that game. Basically meaning that whoever is the demon is dead after the effect is done. That sounds kind of cool. It's basically like tag. Is essentially it. And this is kind of crazy because like this is also, you know, an effect that is going against Shunsui like his abilities are in the series. They both have to play the game. I played these games before, but it is really cool they incorporate that into the character. That's only the first game. That's only the first game. So the second game is Camp. A camp will appear in the camp capture field for a certain amount of time, and spiritual particles will decrease while the opponent is outside the range of the camp. So what I'm getting here is a zone spawns in, you got to stand on the zone, and if you aren't standing on the zone, your spiritual pressure, I believe, is going to decrease, therefore you can't spam any of your skills. So this is going to force both players to move into a certain part of the map. That one doesn't sound as fun, but it's still interesting nonetheless. And then the third one, which I believe is called Quick Skill. Quick Skill. The first side to hit an attack after the signal to start the Quick Skill competition is given will be the winner. So I guess there'll be a countdown. Once the countdown is done, whoever gets the first hit wins. The winning side will gain an attack power increase effect until the next children's game does begin. So yeah, they literally just cycle between all three until the game's done. However, there's a big drawback here. If the attack is hit before the signal to start is given, the opponent... when they say lose, do they just mean lose the game outright? Or do you die? If it's instant lose, though, that is absolutely crazy. But again, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. And I guess from the looks of it, it cycles between all three. And this right here might be the craziest character in Rebirth of Souls. Man, I mean, you know... Shunsui's always been a cool character. Everyone likes Shunsui, especially when he uses Bankai, which obviously rightfully so he's not using in the game. But man, this looks so cool. Like the whole idea of them turning... See, it's kind of unfortunate because obviously it would have been broken. A lot of people wanted Shinji's Shikai abilities represented like we are seeing with Shunsui. One's broken, the other one is quite balanced, right? There was almost no way to make Shinji's Shikai actually work in-game for the most part, but this is super cool. And I think out of every Bleach game that we've gotten, we've never seen Shunsui's abilities be reflected like this. And man, I'm a massive fan. They actually turned his awakening into a children's game, and it sounds like a lot of fun. You either got to be the last person to attack, you got to stand in a certain zone. The camp one seems to be the most lame of the three, but the other two sound like a lot of fun, especially the third one, the quick skill competition. But my question is though, I assume even if you block, it still counts as a hit. So it really is the first one to actually hit. And you know, going back to Shunsui real quick, you know, the two attacks that Shunsui does have, his second and first spiritual pressure move, they are kind of long-range attacks. So you could probably just camp from afar and then just hit with your first spiritual pressure move and guarantee that win of the quick skill game. Or likewise, the second one, you just teleport right in front of them and get a free attack if they aren't ready for it or they aren't expecting it. Depending on the time it takes before the game actually does start, you really can just spend that time gaining distance from your opponent and then just instantly attacking them when the game does begin. So in a way, his first and second spiritual pressure move just work perfectly for the idea of his awakening. And with that in mind, where are we going to put Shunsui in my potential hype tier list, right? I think, honestly, right now, Shunsui might have to be a potential main. That just sounds like a whole lot of fun. Something that, for the most part, you're not going to get with any other character in Rebirth of Souls. And to be fair, again, you can kind of say that about a lot of characters. But at the end of the day, I don't really care if the character's OP or not. I'm just trying to have fun, and Shunsui looks like a lot of fun. I'm a fan of Shunsui, especially if we have potential alternative costumes where I can maybe play without the Captain Co or something like that. Not a deal breaker for me, but I do like having alternate costume options. And the costumes that we have been seeing in game are pretty cool thus far. Shunsui looks like a whole lot of fun. He actually looks really cool. Very impressed with this character thus far. And like always, I'm excited to see next week's character, which at this point, really not sure who it could be. Last week was Zapro. We're guaranteed a Sergeant gameplay sometime soon because we did see him in the trailer alongside Shunsui in the Shinji trailer more so. So they could do Sergeant next, or they might go back and forth between Captains and also Espada. In that case, maybe it's time to start showing Stark. Would make sense. We just got Shunsui here. Doesn't have to make sense though. Could be a random character. And maybe they want to save Stark for like the last Espada to get shown. I'm not too sure. Because he is number one. Either way though, in the comments below, let me know what that's for this character. I thought it looked amazing. I'll see you next time. Take care and peace.